Alright, hello everyone, welcome to Selective Prep Mathematics Test 35. So this is the solutions video for this test. So just like last week, we're just going to take a quick overview of a couple of topics that I found could have been a bit difficult or also might have been a bit easier to make a silly mistake in. So the first thing to start off with is the area of a regular polygon. Okay, polygon just means a shape with more than one side. Okay, so when dividing a regular polygon into an equal number of segments, or like a fraction, it's usually best to start dividing from the center. So you can see on the left here, there's some bad examples where they start from corners. Okay, here we can see that this side is not equal from the center, which is not equal from the right side. So we want to start from the center and then divide out. Okay, so that's good. Now, in terms of our fractions, we took a look at this last week. We're looking at finding the common denominator using the lowest common multiple. So we don't want to multiply all the denominators together because that's just going to give us a really big complex number that we don't want. Okay, so we want to simplify. Okay, simplify every fraction first and then look for the lowest common multiple after that. Okay, and there's an example below where I've simplified. Okay, 4/12 8/16 have turned into 1/3 and half. 1/24 stayed the same because it's as simple as it gets. And then the lowest common multiple is 24. So that's what we make all our denominators into. So 24, to make 1/3, 24, multiply top and bottom by 8. Half is multiplying top and bottom by 12. And then 1/24 stays the same. And there is your answer. Now, when we're doing calculations, and for this test it's specifically multiplication, okay, we want to use mental math. We want to calculate in our head because that's the fastest way to calculate. Alright, it's faster than writing down, it's faster than using a calculator, just because we don't need to spend that extra time moving our arms, moving our fingers, moving our hands. Okay, it's all in your head, and then you just need to write down the answer. Although you should know it's a little bit riskier because you're skipping steps because you're doing it in your head. So it's easier to make a silly mistake. So don't do it if the numbers are a bit out of your comfort zone or they're looking too big. Okay, for this test, I've kind of specified doing it with double digits and also square numbers. So the most efficient way to do this with double digits is to split up those digits into tens and ones. So you can see in the example here, I split up 14 into 10 and 4, and then multiplied it by 25. So 10 times 25 and then 4 times 25 should give you 250 plus 100. So in a way, it's making the math simpler so you can do it in your head. Okay. Now, lastly, percentages. Before we start, we took a look at this last week as well in the form of discounts. Basically, you don't want to do extra steps because it's time consuming. In an example question where Ben receives a 40% discount for a $100 pair of shoes, we don't actually want to find the discount first. Okay, this is not what we want to do. It's a waste of time. All we need to do is find out how much the final price is after 40% has been reduced. How much is that? 60%. And 60% of the initial price is $60. Okay, that's all we need to do. That's how we save time. Now let's get started with the solutions. We can see here this is an example of finding the area of a regular polygon. So let's draw a somewhat similar hexagon. And what we want to do is we want to split it through the center like we did in the examples. It's not perfect, but you get what I'm trying to do. And if we try and imitate what they've given us in the question, okay, this is the triangle we should get. And if you look closely, we have 6 equal triangles stemming from the center here. And we can see one of these triangles is taken up, okay, by this big triangle we have here. So one of those triangles is taken up, this half triangle is taken up, and then one more half triangle is taken up. So we have 1 plus half gives you 2 triangles taken up. Out of how many? We said 6. So that should give you 1/3, okay? Now for question 2, so fractions questions, not too hard. A bottle is 3/5 full. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. And then you subtract half from it because they use half a bottle of water. And so we find the lowest common multiple, which is the smallest number that 2 and 5 go into, which is 10. Okay, we make the denominators 10, so times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. We should get 6 over 10 minus 5 over 10 should give you 1/10. Oops, should give you D. Question 3. We're looking at Miss Willing, who takes 1 hour and 3/4 of an hour to drive to her grandson's place, and during a fifth of that time, she listens to something called compact discs. If you don't know what a compact disc is, you're probably born very late and are too young, and so ask your parents what they are. That you might call them CDs as well, if that helps you better understand, but that's not the point of the question, so we'll move on to the maths. Okay, so what we're going to do, just to make things easier, because our answers are in minutes, okay, we're going to translate our hours to minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes, and 3/4 of an hour is 45 minutes. So when we add that together, we should get 105 minutes. Okay, so 105 minutes, 1/5 of that, so we're going to divide it by 5. 5 goes into 10 twice, goes into 5 once, so that's 25 minutes. Sorry, don't mind my messy writing, just follow the numbers. So question 4, Mr. Roberts has a square kitchen, uses 196 tiles to cover it. Okay, and we're trying to find how many tiles are in each row. Okay, how many tiles are in each row? Now, if you remember the multiplication, we're trying to split up these smaller numbers, but it's also, we're trying to split up these big numbers into smaller numbers, but it's also quite important for you guys to be able to remember the more important square numbers. For example, 2 times 2 is 4, okay, 10 times 10 is 100, 20 times 20 is 400, okay, so if we know that 20 times 20 equals 400, then we know that 22 obviously is not going to work, because 20 times 20 is already too big, 22 times 22 definitely too big. Okay, it's going to be way over 196. What's 15 times 15? So this is where we use the method that I taught you guys at the start. So 10 plus 5 times 15, okay, equals 10 times 15 plus 5 times 15, and that's just 150 plus 75. That equals 225. That's also too big, so it's not 15. It can't be 16 or 18, because 15 was already too big, so it's got to be 14. And if you try it out, maths works. Now, percentages. So remember, when we said percentages, don't take extra steps, don't calculate things separately. Make sure you calculate the final percentage in one go. So that should be 85%, because we said that 15% of the weddings are performed, so 85 aren't performed. So what we should be doing is 15,301 times 85 divided by 100. Okay, that should give you the percentage. Remember, always divide by 100 to get the percentage. So if we do 15,301 times 85, okay, some long multiplication. Hopefully you guys know how to do that, so I don't need to explain it. Should give you 7. And when you multiply everything by 8, you get that. And when you add those together, so luckily the numbers aren't too bad, this is what you should get. Okay, and then divide that by 100, so your number should be 13,005.85, and if you round that up, it gives you 13,006. Now, question 6, finance. So, Damien is saving money for a new game pack. It's $32. $32. He already has $18. Okay, he already has $18, and then he needs to save for 4 weeks. He needs to save his allowance for 4 weeks to be able to buy this new game. And so, how much does he need to save each week to be able to afford this new game? So he's already got $18, which means that the leftover amount he needs to pay is 32 minus 18, which is 14. So if we do 14 divided by 4, okay, 4 goes into 1, 0 times. 4 goes into 14, 3 times. Okay, that's 12. Leftover 2 carried over. Okay, 4 goes into 20, 5 times. So we need to save $3.50 every week for 4 weeks. Now, question 7 is a probability question. There's 5 gray, 3 navy, 2 blue, and 5 pink marbles. Okay, you or me, we need to pick 2 marbles. First is navy, second is blue. Okay, keep in mind marbles, oh sorry about that, marbles are not returned after they've been drawn. So after we draw one, okay, there's one less to draw from. So on the first draw, okay, first draw, there's going to be 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5. So 15 marbles in total, whereas the second draw is going to be 14 because the marble that you picked hasn't been put back. And so on the first go, the first marble is navy, so there's 3 navy, so it should be 3 out of 15, and the second is blue, so it's going to be 2 out of 14. If you simplify those, it's 1 over 5 times 1 over 7 should give you 1 over 35. Okay. Now question 8. There's judges deciding who had the best pie, and we're comparing fractions here. So 1 over 4, 1 over 3, 5 over 12. So we had Rachel, Matthew, and Jessica. Now, just by looking at it, you can already tell, because these two are less than half. This is just less than half. So if you want to calculate it like that, it would already be Matthew. But if you want to use a lowest common multiple, okay, lowest common multiple is 12. Okay, so making 1 over 4 12, it would be 3 over 12. Making 1 over 3 12, it would be 4 over 12. Matthew is 5 over 12. So Matthew has 1. Now, question 9, using the table below, we're going to answer question 9 and 10. So they're selling boxes at a place called Joy Gift. Maria wants to ship a gift to a friend, and the gift has to be these dimensions. So what's the cheapest box she can buy? So let's look at the dimensions first. Let's start from biggest dimension to smallest dimension. So 29 inches, okay. Which boxes can that fit in? Yes, it can fit in here, it can fit in here, it can fit in here and here. So these are all bigger than 29, but not the first one. Okay, now let's take a look at the second dimension, 11. Okay, it can fit in the last two, and the last condition is that it needs to be cheap. So it's going to be the 10 by 12 by 30 for $4.54. Now question 10, same table, but Laura wants to buy the most expensive box, so that's $7.58, and then also buy 2 more boxes, and so they need to be of different sizes. And so in the end, it's weird because she wants to buy the most expensive box, but then she wants to pay the least amount necessary for the other 2 boxes. So that's just going to be this box and then this box. And then when we add those together, we're going to get a very weird number. So 8 plus 4 plus 5 should give you 17. Carry the 1 over. This gives you 15. Carry the 1 over. This gives you 1557. Should give you B. Now, final question. There's exactly 6 different 3-digit numbers, okay, made with these 3 numbers. So they're going to be 345, 354, 453, 435, 543, and 534. Okay, what we need to do is find the average. That's just adding them all up and then dividing it by how many numbers we had. So this is just the process of crude adding up. So you can do them in pairs, or you can just do them all at once. I prefer doing them all at once, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, 4 plus 3 plus 3 is 10, 5 plus 5 is another 10, so this section is 24. Move the 2 over. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 4 is 9, 14, 17, 22, 26. Carry the 2 over. So 12, 16, 20, 26. Now if we divide this by 6, because we had 6 numbers, it's going to be 6 goes into 26 4 times, 2 left over. 6 goes into 26 4 times, another 2 left over. 6 goes into 24 4 times. Should give you 444. Okay. So that ends our video for today. Just another quick overview of the 4 things that we went through at the start. The key ideas that we need to remember is the area of a regular polygon. Make sure you split it up, starting from the center. For the fractions, make sure that when we're using the same denominator, we look at the lowest common multiple after simplifying. We don't multiply everything together. Okay, that's a waste of time. In terms of mental maths, particularly square numbers, try and split up to double-digit numbers into 10s and 1s. Okay, helps you do it in your head, which in turn helps you save heaps of time. And then finally, with percentages, try and save time. Don't take extra steps. Try and calculate everything in one go. Okay, the final price or the final percentage in one go, and take it from there. Okay, all right, good job everyone. I'll see you next week for our next video. Good job keeping up today.